to the Brutally Opinionated Podcast with your host, Shanika Nate. Today we have an episode. We have a special episode as always. We have a special guest today, Mr. Brandon Smith, who is running for a write-in ticket for the mayor of the city of Richmond. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing? I'm looking at you. I'm looking at the camera.
Well, either one. Nah, you don't have to look at the camera.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm alright. I can't complain.
Okay. All right. So tell the listeners a little bit about who Brandon Smith is.
Um, I'm from the south side of Richmond. I was born and raised. Um, honestly, man, I'm a returning citizen. I'm a father.
Look, we completely
I'm
transparent on
um I'm a little bit of everything, man. You want to be honest, man. And I don't even mean that in a political way, just in general, man. I just feel like I represent the R in general, like the R Richmond, like the culture,
here.
you know. Yeah, I'm just a little bit of everything, a little bit of everybody, man. But at the end of the day, I'm real. So,
So to make it a little easier for you, let's start from the beginning.
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. When you say beginning, you mean like,
Growing up.
oh, it's okay. That part.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. Yeah. So I grew up around the south side of Richmond. I grew up in the southern part of the city. I went to Swansboro as a kid. I got three sisters. Got a brother.
Mhm.
Me and my sisters grew up kind of poor. No water, no lights. I guess I always say typical urban family story. I mean, if you come from the struggle or come from being poor, that's what it is. We kind of shared the same bed for a while. Growing up, my mom worked three jobs, so she went home. She did the best she could. Um, my father was killed when I was like 7. I think when my father got killed, I lived with my grandma for like a year. I think she was going through something, so she just wanted, I guess, me to be there, whatever.
Mhm.
I went back to my mom after that. I think 6th grade, 7th grade, or whatever. I think we moved to like she was. I think she was married. I don't remember, but we moved around a little bit. Life ain't really start getting crazy for me. I started getting locked up when like 13. In and out of juvenile system for little minor offenses. I remember the judge told me one day, he was like, I keep locking you up because your little offenses gonna turn into big offenses. And yeah, so when I was 21, I went to prison. Um, Went to prison, ended up doing 12 years.
What was that like for you?
12 years.
That experience. What was that? What was
Um,
that like for you?
Prison like being in the street, man. What I mean, like, if you into a lot of stuff, then you're gonna be into a lot of stuff. If you out the way, then most of the time you be out the way. Um, it was hard, just that transition, coming from the streets, um, being into the things I was into. I didn't sell drugs, I didn't rob people. Like, I mean, since we being transparent, that's just what it is. I was a different person back then. I feel like, again, like I said, my story ain't nothing spectacular, man. I feel like I speak for every person that come from the hood, whether you had to jack, whether you had to sell drugs, whatever the case may be. I probably did a little bit of everything. Um, and so, I went to prison and I spent the 12 years in there. I did a lot of learning, a lot of reading. They want you to believe, like, going to jail, let me say this is a badge of honor. It's not. Probably some of the worst and best times, because I feel like prison saved my life. If I wouldn't have went to prison, I probably wouldn't be saying and talking to you right now. And that's just real. I met some of the best people, some of the nicest and most kindest people in prison. People always think that, oh, you locked up. They the most horrible people. But I mean, to be honest, there's some people that I was locked up with that's better than people who ain't never touched the jail.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I came home in 2017. I think went down like 05, 06. Came home 2017. Definitely with a different attitude, different different perspective on life. I just wanted to be, I guess, a better version of myself. I remember being on the yard and I used to listen to people talk. Just talk about all the bad stuff we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, in my mind, it's like, yo, like, it gotta be more to life than this. Like, I just refuse to believe that this is what I was born for. And I think in prison is where I really started looking for myself and really trying to find my purpose. Because I just knew I wanted better. You know, at that time, my son wasn't even born. When my son was born, he was born like a month after I got locked up. But I mean, you know, I had never held him and never touched him. You know, I watched my kids grow up, my first two anyway, behind the wall when I came home. One of my sons was 10 and the other one I think was like 8. And my youngest at the time, I didn't meet him till he was 7, you know, and so it's crazy because they 17, 18, ready to be 17, 18 now. But just looking back on that time, you know, it really taught me a lot about growing up, you know, really maturing. Because I mean, you can be a certain age, but I don't mean mature, I mean grown. And so after that, you know, I came home um, just with a different perspective, like I said, on life. Man, I just really wanted to be a part of something bigger than myself. I really wanted to be a part of the solution because I spent so much time being a part of the problem. Um, and after that, I think, that's probably 217. Everything else really a blur. I came home, I did my best to stay out of the way. I worked, you know, I did little ins and outs. And I found myself even though me and this person ain't, you know, really cool no more. Shout out to I always give people props what props is due because, you know, some people come in their life for a reason, some people come in their life for a season.
Absolutely.
So in that season, you know what I'm saying, I gotta give bro props in that season, you know. Um he introduced me to some people and by default, you know, I ended up I guess kind of stepping into that whole political realm of things of where I kind of start finding my purpose or really drawing into like, oh, this is how I can be a benefit. This is how I can help. This is what I can do.
Mm-hmm. And what year was this?
This was 2000. I want to say 2017. Let me back up. 2017, I came home. I attended this Boys and Men conference. Where you know people that came home and had spoke. You know, and at that time I was working with I want to say I was working with Clovia Lawrence. We were she was doing like this little Clo House thing where people come home and can go, you know, need halfway houses and stuff. So I came home and I was there for a little bit. Her and shout out to, you know, Miss Lawrence. Um, like I said, I get props what props do for the things that people do in them times, and she really helped me out a lot on that level. I transitioned from there maybe around 2018, 2019. Um, and that's when I stepped into the other arena that I stepped into. Because when I first came home, I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of hard. You know, I'm a go getter, so like I think I came home in May. And if I wouldn't have went home to my baby mama, I probably would have been a lot further than I was because my mama told me not to. But I mean, we don't listen. So I went home to that, and it kind of like
So that transition was a little
yeah, you know, it kind
challenging
of.
for you.
I ain't gonna say challenging. I think some people, for me, so they when you go to prison, like whatever mindset you in, most of the time when you go to jail, when you come back
Mm-hmm.
out, you still kind of be in that mindset most of the time. You know, like if I was 17 in my mind when I went, 9 out of 10, I'm gonna still have a little bit of that 17 in me most of the time. It's not always like that. I would like to say I was a little bit further. I had a little bit more clear path that I wanted to go on because you know, while I was inside, like I did a lot of reading, did a lot of self teaching, did a lot of studying, you know, so that I could prepare myself better for when I did step out. Watching people go, watch people come back, watch people go, watch people come back, watch people go, and watch some people not even live to come back. Um, and just knowing, like I said, I wanted to be a better person. So when I came home, you know, I came out, I think May, by October, I had a crib, I had a house, I mean, car, a lot of stuff I accomplished, you know, in a short period of time. What I will tell people that are coming out, man, is take your time, man. Like, you know, I don't regret the things that I did or experienced, but I just regret how certain things that I did or experienced affected other people in a negative way. Um, and so moving forward, like I said, I got up to maybe like 2019 after being gone for so long. Um, and I think around that time is when I really, I guess, my life started to catch up with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's like now my mind and my actions is catching up to my life. So now we kind of feeling balancing out.
Mm.
And I just when I really grabbed who I was working for, Help Me Help You. And so, I became a peer. And I just was able to kind of give back and kind of help people
Get
that were
involved in
coming
it.
from where I was coming from. Um, and it just pretty much it was kind of up from there. I just went from there and fast forward to now, like here I am. I'm here. I'm at this point. If I could tell anybody anything from that phase of my life, it's like and shout out, I gotta shout out Paul Taylor because me and him kind of came out. Rest in peace, Scooter, man. We all kind of came out around the same time. And if you know his story, you kind of know how far he's come.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout out to all the returning citizens or people that's coming home that's really getting it together, really sticking it out, and really, clearing the way for other people that want to do better or want to do good, because like most people or most, I guess groups of people, sometimes we get forgotten, sometimes we get overlooked, whether you coming home, whether you homeless, whether if you're not with people society feel like you should be, it's like,
They don't
oh,
make it easy for
you
you.
know what I'm saying? And so shout out to everybody that's keeping going, keep pushing. Um and just to say this, man, like, people like that brother, people like, people who were legitimately somebody before they went into prison. You know what I'm saying? Whether you was in the street, whatever you was in, and then to come home and to make that transition into being what you were prior to, into the same type of force, on the other side of the coin, that means a lot because it gives people hope. People like that who I know young people look up to because it's like, in our hoods, like it's people who went through it. I ain't telling nobody from the street code. Like I ain't telling nobody, ain't nobody paperwork, and stuff that might not matter to other people in our culture. Unfortunately, stuff like that could mean the difference between somebody, a young person, listening to what you having to say and respecting you, and trying to kill you or not listening to what you have to say. You know what I'm saying? And so I checked all the boxes on that level. And shout out to everybody else who coming out, who thorough and who really want to help. Because it's brothers like that, brothers like myself and other people that I know, and women too, not just brothers. You know what I'm saying? They really want to, it's really making an impact in the community and really is moving this thing forward in the direction it should go.
Now you mentioned you read a lot of books.
Yeah.
What were some of the books that you've read, and what was that book that kind of altered everything that was life changing for you?
I want to say two books, in particular. Letters to a Young Brother by Hill Harper,
Okay.
and changing a game plan by Randy Curse.
Okay.
Those are two books that I will say kind of impacted me in a major way. Letters to a Young Brother, like shout out to Hill Harper, man. Like I feel like I feel like if you got a son, every son should read that book. Like as a young black man, like I just feel like that's a must read because um it broke down a lot of stuff, being a man in general, especially being young, growing up in America, growing up in the ghetto, growing up in the hood. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't have the opportunities that everybody else have. Some of us do, some of us don't. But just really making those right decisions and bouncing back, um, and really stepping into your manhood. As a young man, I try to tell my sons all the time. Shout out my kids, man. Like you know, you young. You got time to mess up, but at the same time, if you learn now, it'll save you a lot of time later. Um, shout out to not shout. I'm sorry. Randy Curtis book, Changing Your Game Plan. That book right there, I think that was like the first book I read outside when I got out of reading like urban novels and stuff. Because I mean, when I at first I was into all that. Shout out to the urban artists, that's dope. But it's like I live that life, so it just is different reading something you live versus So it kind of got old to me. Randy Curtis Changing Your Game Plan talked to people specifically that was incarcerated. And he was actually an incarcerated person and came home and wrote that book.
Nathan McCall too makes me want to holler.
Yeah, I read that. That was good.
Mm.
And so,
And he's from Norfolk.
oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all right. And so, like, he talked about everything from how when you change who you are, like the type of people you will be around, different change. The type of women you want to talk to change. And it just really made me look at life from a different point of view, saying like, wow, if I make these changes and transitions, I didn't command the universe to move and transition with me. And At the time, I didn't really understand it. But as I look back on my life and look back on the times and who I was and where I was and the way I thought, everything around me did change. You know, the people I encountered, the things and opportunities that I had, a lot of that stuff did change. And so those were the two books that really kind of stuck with me and made an impact on me and how I moved.
When you do that amount of time and even longer, you see so many people give up, right?
Yeah.
So, what made you keep pushing?
Oh, man. How, so let me say this first. You know, I remember I was like maybe in my last 14 months, maybe 9 months. And I remember a lot of people didn't know like I did so much time. And I remember somebody I was heavy in the church, real heavy. Somebody asked me like, yo, you know, brother Chevy, they call me Chevy. You know, like, brother Chevy, how you do all that time? Like, bro, you did all that time? How you do all that time? And you know, I never thought about it, but the only thing that came to my mind is a picture, is the footprints in the sand picture. When I really thought about it, that was the only way I could explain it. God really took me through that moment, and it was when I got to that point. I mean, I went down, it was like 05, 06. At this time, it was like maybe 2016. I'm on my way home, and I'm looking back at the time, and I'm like, I really even as long as it was, it didn't feel like as long as it really was.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, um, honestly, I just I can't. I'm an Aries. I'm a go getter. I've always been like a hustler. My will to survive outweighs like my will to survive. I just don't want to be poor no more. And I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. And it was like either you can quit and die, or you can keep on going and win.
I think that's the story of every black person in America,
Hey,
especially now in these times.
definitely. Definitely. Like it don't, you know, even now, you know, I just believe in something bigger than myself. And once I attach my will and my drive to my purpose, because I remember Dawood told me like I was in James River before they closed it down. At this time I was in knucklehead transition. I was still stealing out the cafeteria and doing stupid stuff. And I remember he was like, bro, like God gonna show you your purpose. And when he showed it to you, it's gonna blow your mind. Like I never would have thought this right here, this won't even in my mind. Like I never thought.
You never saw yourself doing this, you know?
Man, no. Shout out to James St. Patrick who made me believe it was real. like,
So
like,
was James
yo,
St. Patrick that life changing moment for you to
no,
say, I'm gonna step into
I can do
politics?
this. It was, you know what I'm gonna say, and this is crazy because to know me is to know me, and like, um, if you knew my life and the things that I've done and accomplished, literally, I would have swore that this man wrote this story about me. I never like we didn't have all that. I couldn't see past it. I came home, and so when I looked at it, just everything that my life embodied from 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 the person I was to how I grew up to the person I was trying to become. Um, I always say, if you look at James, it's like he was one person, but he was different people to different people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like when I say the
He
story
was
of
a
my life,
pavilion.
that's who I am. Whether I was Chevy, whether I was Brandon, whether I was Dutch, whether I was Andrew, Michael, and the Andrew and Michael and other people, y'all, they know who those people are. I've always been, my character has always been the same. It never changed. And, being able to be genuine and sincere in every aspect, even if I wasn't always doing the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
but my character was intact. They say, I tell my sons all the time, if you take care of your character, your reputation will take care of itself. At the end of the day, I made it my business to try to take care of my character because when I stepped out on change, as they say, I think seeing that really made me feel like I can do this. And what I mean is, his biggest struggle is he struggles like me and like a lot of other people that come in and out of the system are really trying to get. I'm gonna be real with y'all. There's a lot of people that do wrong that really be trying to not do wrong. There's a lot of people that but in
But
reality,
circumstances,
yeah, you know what I'm
they
saying. Like
just
sometimes you got to do
make
wrong
it
to do right.
complicated, and then you got those people that just want to suck you back into that.
Exactly, and that's my struggle. And I ain't gonna lie. Today, sometimes I still struggle with that. it's just about staying on your path. And I feel like as long as you stay on your path, eventually you'll get to your destination. And so I don't think, like a person that's an addict, they say you won't always be an addict. And so to an extent, I feel like as a person who come from a certain level of survival, one of the hardest things for me to do is to remember I could pivot to the left and do this and do that, but it's like I don't want to be that person. I refuse to believe that I have to do 100% wrong just to do right. I just don't want to be that person. Like I have a strong desire to do the right thing, even though at times, it's a struggle for me. Like I said, like an addict, they might stop getting high, but them addictions still be there. If you're a hustler, it's an addiction. You're addicted to the money, you're addicted to the fast life, you're addicted to the things that come with that. Especially when people start treating you bad. Because listen, if you ain't moving like you was moving, people don't treat you the same. But what I tell people is that's how you know who with you and who ain't. Because if I'm really for you, whether you a woman, whether you a man, how I treat you is not gonna change based on what I can do for you or what I got going on. My real riders and my real people that's holding it down gonna be there for you regardless whether you up or whether you down. And so yeah.
Well, first, let me congratulate you on not just changing your mindset, but changing your lifestyle, because that's a big step. Now, because what matters most to me is being a black person, and I think the majority of our community is when a person is stepping into politics, we need somebody that we can completely relate to, not just tell us the story. Most people vote on popularity versus principle, right?
Definitely.
So what I want to ask you is, give me a moment, a time in your life where you faced, like you had the biggest challenge, the biggest struggle that you had to overcome.
I think right now. I think right now. And why I say that is, I'm fighting I'm fighting who I am versus who I'm striving to be versus how people knew me versus how people see me. And I'm fighting all these people at the same time, which ultimately is me fighting me. Because if somebody tell you stupid, you dumb, you not nothing, you ain't gonna be nothing, you struggle to, I gotta block that out. Because I know, no, I am somebody. I am, if I got issues with one child's mother, you know what I'm saying? And I got issues with an ex-wife, or you know what I'm saying? We got issues with my children, like these are the most challenging times, issues with myself and not going back to it like, okay, well, let me go over here, let me do this right quick. Really staying focused and staying on the path. And so I feel like for me, this is the biggest challenge because I believe life takes you through the same thing, just a different way, until you either make the right decision or you die. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, at this point, I'm really learning to recognize, like, oh, I've been here before. Okay, what are you going to do this time? I can honestly say it's been moments in my life, since I've been home, like, just like, let me go, I can go do this right quick, or I can do this right quick, but really making that decision to say, you know what, I'm going to trust God. And I'm going to keep going because, again, I know what's back there. And I talk about God a lot because, mind you, and that's nothing against nobody. Whoever your higher power is, whatever you believe, that's cool. For me, on I terms, I always tell people my faith is so strong and I have a hope that can't be beat because that's if you unplug me from my trust and belief in God, I'm gonna die. Like I'm literally on life support when it comes to them. Like that's the only thing that get me up. That's the only thing that keep me from going back to what I know. That's the only thing that make me, not spaz out. As a man, I go through. We go through a lot of stuff. In silence. Like we suffer in silence. I suffer in silence. I used to tell people I dealt with. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what. As a female, it doesn't matter what you do. It don't matter if you decide to leave. It don't matter if you decide to stay. My role as a man don't change. I still got to take care of you. I still got to take care of kids because my principles and my values and who I am. You know what I'm saying? And so my biggest challenge right now is just fighting with myself. All those things that I said is fighting for who are you going to be. I had somebody come and ask me, Hey, are you gonna be like you running for mayor? You gonna be like Duda? You gonna be like Duda? Give me a job. People is crazy, but they only speak. People speak to you based on how they know you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so it's just like I'm not gonna go to a preacher and say no wow. I'm not gonna go to a nun and say like, yeah, what's up, shit? You know what I'm saying? Because that's who you are. So people know me. They know my character. Oh, bro, real, whatever. But people know me as being different in different forms, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? In different lanes or different times in my life. You see what I'm saying? And just because I've changed, I have to realize it. Just because I have a vision, just because I see it, it's my vision. And I can't feel like you're wrong because you don't see my vision. I can't feel like you're wrong because you don't want to come on my journey with me because it's my vision. And I think for me, that's been my really biggest struggle, realizing that, dang, I really like, dang, I was walking, there was a lot of people, and I was party promoting, doing a lot of stuff. Now I'm doing this, and my phone dry. Ain't nobody calling. Ain't nobody like, damn, like, dang, I'm bored. I really wish, like, I have nobody that I can call and say, hey, can you, even though when it was my goal, I was, I was everything that everybody needed me to be. And so my biggest struggle, like I said, is just me really figuring out of all those people, fighting to be all of my different personas, you know what I'm saying? Am I gonna be who I'm striving to be? Am I gonna be who they say I'm gonna be? Am I gonna be, who I'm fighting to be? Or am I gonna be who I, used to be? So, yeah.
Do you feel like the people that know you, because even some people that know you have those that know you, you have half and half that do support what you're doing, right? And then you have those, and they all know your past, but you also have those that because they know your past, you feel like they're a little judgmental, like, so to speak. Is it a mix of it?
I guess it's a mix. I mean, I had a conversation with my boys, my two oldest, you know what I'm saying? And I got seven. I got seven. I got four that I took custody of, and four that I took custody of, and then I got three that belong to me.
And let me clarify that question a little bit, because it's when I say that, it's like you saying you're running for mayor, and you got those that, congratulations, bro, that's dope. Like, what you need me to, what you need me to do? Like, how do you need help? And then you have those, oh, you running for mayor. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know he not running for mayor.
So
you have those type of people.
I got a little bit of all that. I got and so it's some people who know me and they were like, "Oh, you running for mayor?" I get more of that in a, how do I say it? I've had family members who are like, "Oh," like when I didn't make the official ballot and I had to run as a writer, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he was probably won't do good anyway. It's my family, it's my blood."
That makes sense.
And then I had people who
it's always
knew me from, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like I'm happy you running, like, because they know my journey. They remember, like, right. bro, I know if you make it, there. I know you gonna make changes. I know, like, oh, you run, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then I got people who like, oh, like you said, like, oh, you run, they letting you run for mayor, like, right. How you gonna run for mayor? And you, like, and I'm like,
do they know who they put on the ticket?
I'm like, but you know what though, and I'm gonna chalk this up. For lack of knowledge, the people perish, and we are, as a people, we are our own worst enemy. A lot of times when it comes to knowledge, because like I said, I use the Meek Mill song, you know what I'm saying, in the 13th Amendment, say that we kings and say we legally slave. Like, a lot of people didn't know that until he said it, and a lot of people still don't know that. You know what I'm saying? They just think it's a version of the song, but that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen it literally says that. And people ask why they pay y'all 27 cents, because they don't have to pay us, because legally we're slaves, but then we take it back. Let's go back further. When they abolished slavery, quote unquote, supposedly, they made the rules in their favor. Because if you look around and see what's behind the wall, it's us. We just recreated slavery. You know what I'm saying? We just recreated that for all my people who really understand. And so at the end of the day, that's why I said we become our own worst enemy, because now it's not them that's going to get us. We locking ourselves up. And they putting people that look like us in those positions. Shout out to Samuel Jackson on Django, like he did his thing, but That's what it is. And
Oh, that's a fact because I completely feel like you said, we are our own worst enemy. I look at social media and I look at how it's like we get off on dragging each other. We get off on each other's downfall, but in the same breath, you speak unity. You speak that togetherness, and we need to better our communities and start getting together. But I think we're the only race that don't truly understand what a code is, far as putting our differences to the side to fix the bigger issue. And the bigger issue, black people are at the bottom of the totem pole on everything. And this is why I feel strongly, and I hope I'm proven wrong at some point, and I may not even be here to see it, but this is why I feel like I don't think we'll ever get to that point as black people that we will ever unify. And if we do, I think it needs to be a separation. Because sometimes, as hard as I go for my people, and I want us to just be on such a level of elevation that nobody can ever take us down. It's like we make it so hard to love each other sometimes.
that's true. I remember. Let me. That's funny. I remember 3 6 Mafia had a song, and it say it was called "It's Hard Not to Kill Niggas." I remember that song.
That's a
You know what I'm
look.
saying? And so
Hey,
just piggybacking off what you said, you know, that's my hope. Like and like I feel like as running for mayor, like me, I ain't no politician, man. I'm gonna stand on that. Like I don't care what people say. People say, "Oh, well, you're running," so what? You know what I'm saying? You've been brainwashed to believe it because you do this, you this. It no, you know what I'm saying? Just because I go in the kitchen and make some breakfast, it don't make me a chef. I just not a cook. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, um, I want to bring that or piece of that to our people. I'm not coming like I can change it. I can't on one man. But if I can create opportunity and give people the option, you said something that was really important. You one person. And as much as we want to fight for our people got to fight for themselves too because we can't.
it
If you
gets
know basketball,
exhausting.
like Steph Curry can't win the game by himself. LeBron
Right.
James can't win the game. I don't care how great of a player he is. You need them supporting cast. You need that team. And I can't win the election by myself. I can't change the things that need to be changed in Richmond by myself. So I'm not gonna get up here and say, "Hey, if you vote for me, I'm gonna do this. If you write me in, I can't do nothing." If you put me up there and y'all not gonna help me, y'all might as well not even write me in. You know what I'm saying? But if I can surround myself with like-minded people, we'll take it to a professional business stand with all my business people. If you get the right team, you can make anything for successful. You know what I'm saying? And that's facts. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing transitioning over to policy, transitioning over to team building, community building, economic development. You put the right people in places. DJ Khaled do it all the time. He's not a rapper. DJ Khaled's a DJ, but he know how to bring the right people together to create a sound that we love. And so it's the same thing. We can want it, but they gotta want it themselves. And I'm not. What I'm not gonna do is I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting because I feel like, oh, let me fight and let me. I got a political agenda. I tell people if we not ready, if we not ready for change, if we not ready, shout out to Pac. You used to talk about that. Change the way we see each other, change the way we view each other. I'm not your enemy, but I feel like we scared of each other. We scared. We scared of our potential. We scared of our possibilities. We just lost hope. And until we see that hope, you know what I'm saying? Until that hope is real, like I said, and I think I use this expression, for us as black people, like we have people that look like us. They get up and say, "Hey, I'm such and such." But just because they look like us don't mean they like
All
us.
skin folk
You
and
know what I
skin
mean?
folk,
For sure.
you know? And I think we don't need a politician. What we need is, because politicians operate within the interests of themselves.
Most definitely.
I think we need a person of integrity, morals, great character that operates in the greater good for the people and listen to the people. Because we as the people, we we have righteous demands and our demands are never met. And when I say we as a people, I mean black people mainly, because we put our money behind these politicians and we never seem to get what we want. And it amazes me how our black lives don't matter, but come election time, our black votes do.
Come on now. Hey, listen.
You get what I'm saying?
Hey, listen. Look. I feel you, and I am what you describe. If I could describe myself, that's what I'm running. I'm not a politician. Um, I'm running for all the reasons you said they running for. At the end of the day, like I said, we don't need a politician. We need somebody that's gonna do what they say they're gonna do. You know, I'm not coming to the table as a perfect person. I'm not perfect. I didn't lied. I didn't cheated. I didn't stole.
And that's what we need.
I didn't rob. I done been locked up. I'm a baby daddy. I didn't cheat on my wife before when I was married. I know, I done been poor. I done been broke. I didn't live check to check. I still live check to check sometimes. Like, that's real. I done sold drugs. But the good thing about it is, like I said, I always been real. I always been real. My character has always been tight. You take care of character, reputation, take care of yourself. It's nobody. You can't find 10 people that'll say, oh, nah, bro, lost in it. Oh, bro, told on somebody. Oh, nah, Chevy this. They be like, nah, bro, good dude. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean I'm perfect. But you need somebody who can represent everybody and represent everybody equally, and I'm one of the few people who I can go to Jacksonville, I can go to Churchill, I can go to Southside, I can go to the suburbs, I can sit here with the people, I can stand on the corner with the homies, and I can go sit at the table with the president and not sound foolish and be able to hold a conversation and be able to sound like, oh, okay, cool, this is a good representative. And I think that's what makes me a great, that's what qualifies me to do what I'm doing, to be able to hear what the people are talking about and take it to the people. You talk about somebody that represents the people and our demands. If you listen to most of the politicians that's out there, most of the people who are running, I remember going back, I was talking to different people when I was about to run, when I was like, oh, I'm gonna run. And I remember everybody saying, no, well, maybe you should wait and you got to do this. And God told me, like, bro, like, if I wanted you to be just like them, I would have got another politician. Mm-hmm. He said, you can't play that game. You got to make them play your game. And you don't know politics. Like when I say I tried to go to this East Virginia State politics school thing they had. I tried everything I could try. Like, God was like, nah, bro. Like, if I wanted you to do that, then that's what I would have got. Got somebody else to do it. You gotta learn, make them play your game, bring them to you. And so the way I campaign, the things that I'm doing, the people I'm doing, like I'm talking to, is different, and it's not because I don't want to. Like, hey, I wish I did have 100 people that could help me. I wish I did, have $100,000 behind me. And my job a lot easier. But I want to connect with the people. If I'm elected or I'm wrote in as mayor, my first 100 days, I'm going outside. I'm not going to the city hall. And I'm pretty talking to everybody. They're going to say, oh, we want to change city hall. Change starts from the bottom. We need to change. We need to get on the ground. We need to change ourselves. Like, how? I'm going to go outside at the first 100 days. My team, we're going outside, and we're going to talk to everybody. We're going to talk to the homeless people. We're going to talk to people who got money. We're going to talk to the poor people. We're going to talk to people in the hood. We're going to talk to everybody. Then we're going to go to City Hall. City Hall is my last stop. And I'm going to bring them. This is. I don't have a strategic plan. I have a foundational plan. I feel like my strategic plan should be based on what the people want, not what I think they want, not what I heard somebody say, but how do you know what the people want? Because I went outside and I connected with the people and I talked to them, and this is what they said they needed. This is what I saw. This is the conversation that we're had. And now, when I go to the city hall, I'm like, this is what we're going to do. Anybody who don't want to do that, that's going to let me know who I can fire. Okay, so the rest of y'all can leave. And then I can place the people who want to make them changes in place, because at the end of the day, in order to move a boat, I need to have people that know how to drive a boat. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to have a janitor doing brain surgery. Makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So I want people in place who are not doing it just because they're getting paid. Just because, reentries, they're giving out money for reentry, so let me jump on the reentry bandwagon. Oh, they're giving out money for adopting kids, let me jump on the youth bandwagon. A lot of events and stuff I ain't been to, because at the end of the day, I don't want to, like, anybody can go outside and stand in a group of people and take a picture and say, oh, I'm outside. That is not real to me. Anybody can pop out and, oh, I'm over here with the people in Southside. Let's scroll some Instagrams back a couple months and see if you were still posting I was outside or I was doing this, And it's a difference in owning an organization and saying, hey, I started this organization and this is what it does, and you actually doing it. Just saying, like, I want it to be as authentic as possible. I don't want to come outside because everybody outside right now. It's community day. It's election season. I've
Of
been
course,
outside.
pandering.
You
This
know what I
is
mean?
when
All
it
these, we taking pictures with
amps up.
black kids and we
Kissing the
adopting black
babies and all
kids and
that.
kids like, man, I've been doing that. And I ain't doing it because I want to be recognized. Like, shout out to my homeboy The Rock, man. You know, I was looking and shout out to everybody. Listen, everybody saw the kids. I made my little post. I gotta make it down there, but that's my dog. That's my bro. Like, shout out to bro. I've been watching bro since he was at Bird. A lot of my little brother and them, they went to school when he was a coach out there. I don't even know if I want to be on. Like if I go do that stuff, like I don't take no pictures with me because I'm not doing it because I want to be on camera. I'm not doing it. I'm doing it because I got kids too. You know what I'm saying? And my kids and your kids is just as important as mine. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like at the end of the day, if we gonna do it, let's do it out of the kindness of our heart. Let's not. Oh, we doing this for the youth and we doing like man, stop playing. Because one thing about it, you can fake a whole lot of stuff, man, but you can't fake real. You can't fake authenticity. And so I feel like at a lot of stuff you might not see me at. Oh, well, why you wanted this or why you wanted that? Because everybody, I don't what you got enough people there that just need to be there. That ain't what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna talk to y'all when ain't nothing going on. Mm-hmm. Them the people I want to talk to. Where you at? Why you is you taking pictures with people or is you being a part of something when ain't nothing going on? When people is hurting, when kids is getting killed in the street. I want to see. Mm-hmm. I want to see that.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I remember
like real call to action.
Exactly.
And I think the viewers that's gonna watch this, I think most of them can relate to you. However, the thing is, again, that unity aspect, right? Because it makes you wonder: are they gonna vote within their best interest? Because most of the times we don't, and it seems like no, it's not even what it seems like. It's what it is. We cannot function, and I say this all the time. This is like one of my main phrases when it comes to the black community. We cannot seem to function without dysfunction, chaos, toxicity. We have a dangerous love affair with dysfunction, chaos, and toxicity. It's like we don't want to shake it. You
That's
get what I'm
true.
saying?
You're right.
And what I want to ask you, because going back a little bit, when you were talking about a lot of times you struggle with your mental health.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's something that's not often talked about in our community, especially with black men, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that going forward, politics now? What are some of the things that Brandon Smith wants to change and wants to implement if elected as mayor?
We need group. I feel like we need. I want to make therapy sessions and stuff. Free, or at least discounted or available. Think about how much. I want to make them available. I want to have like men's groups, youth groups. If you remember Teen Summit, I was telling somebody earlier. You remember Teen
I
Summit?
love Teen Summit.
Like I feel like we need to have those type of conversations with the kids. It don't need it shouldn't be once a year, twice a year. That should be something that's reoccurring because we you just said it. We hurt, we ill, we trauma.
And that's the reason I created this podcast, because I always call it a safe space. It's a no judgment zone. That's why I tell you to be completely transparent. And that's why it's called Brutally Opinionated, because there's some things that people are not going to like, but it has to be said. It's brutal. And this is a complete safe space to say what you feel, because often a lot of people are scared to say what you're thinking. We ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
And I call it a safe space to have beautiful but unpleasant conversations unapologetically with all aspects that affect our culture and that influence our culture.
Most definitely. I want to do stuff for, like women empowerment. I'm big on women empowerment because at the end of the day, I remember at one time, you couldn't even, if you call a girl out a name, that was like crazy. Now they call themselves out their name. Like if you don't treat a woman a certain way or talk to her a certain way, like you said, like, oh, well, you too nice, or you this, or you that. Like women need to understand, like, man, you're a queen. But men need to understand as well, like, if we don't understand our roles as man and woman, then our child not gonna understand their role. So now we got a whole nother generation of misguidedness, a whole nother generation of trauma. I just had a conversation with my mom today, and we was talking, and I was telling her like, "Mom, me, you don't always get along." Like, and mind you, I don't disrespect my mother. I don't care what she say. I don't disrespect. I don't do disrespect. I said, but I know you got trauma. Because let's keep it real, trauma just got real to black people maybe in the last 10, 15 years. Because prior to that, when I went to prison, we weren't talking about trauma. Black people weren't acknowledging trauma.
And that healing is so important.
Ain't get real to maybe around 2015, 2017. Then we started talking about trauma. Oh, I got trauma. And it's just about, think about all the people who prior to us had mothers and fathers and who got trauma. You know what I'm saying? And
a lot of us don't know how to identify it or recognize it.
Exactly.
You got to be able to learn how to identify and recognize it to know the steps to take to start that healing process, because that is so important.
I feel like having these groups and having these sessions is important for everybody. And so I'm going to offer free community sessions the same way they offer AA and NAA and all that. We'll have sessions. We'll have a hotline where you can call. And the thing what makes me different from everybody else is let's remove all the hoops we got to jump through to get help. I want to reinvent the way people help people. If I come to you and say I'm hungry, feed me. Once you feed me, then we can talk about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't be, oh, I'm hungry. Okay, well, did you work? Did you do this? Did you do that? When the last time I'm hungry. So I feel like the issue need to be addressed, and then we can get to, you know what I'm saying? How did you get here? Where did you take a pivot? What happened? Because a lot of people, again, go back to that hope word. A lot of people just gave up. A lot of people just feel like this is all I got. And so if this is all I see and this is all I know, then this is all I'm going to do, regardless of how hard I try. It's so crazy because I could see something bad and I could go through life and I could be doing good and then some bad stuff can happen. I'd be like, okay, well, I guess this is the way it's going to be because I tried it like this and it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So my mom was like this, my such and such was like that, freaking out. It's going to be like that too. And we just give up. I watch people all the day long. My other job I sit and watch people pay attention. And I be saying sometimes like, dang, it look like people just gave up. Like we just gave up on life, And it's so sad because you control your destiny. You control it. I don't care how hard it may be. You control your destiny. Regardless of what you've been through, I'm a living testimony. All going on to God. Like, I'm up here because of God. I'm here because of God. Like, I'm a living, breathing testimony. Like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I did 12 years in prison. Nelson Mandela was in prison, 27 years, 37 years, became the president of his country. And I used to tell myself this all the time. Nelson Mandela can become the president. Why can't I be the mayor? Why can't I be the voice of the people? Not because I know everything, but because I want to open up the door so that we can sit down at a table and have a conversation. So I can ask the young brother that's out here shooting people or killing people, yo, what's wrong? If you watch The Chi, for those who didn't watch it, you should watch it. The young boy that was really angry, I forgot his name, Bakari. Now what I'm saying? It's so many people, it's so many of him
wanted to change
out there.
Kept getting sucked
exactly. Back. Because somebody took the time.
That teacher.
To say, hey, bro, I was you. Boom, boom, boom. And there's so many of our young brothers who don't have that. And if we just stop before we lock them up, before we throw them away, before we give up on them, if we really stop and take the time to say, hey, it ain't going to be easy. We always wanted to be easy. Okay, we was hard-headed. It's like people forget. You might not have did what he did, but you did something. Mm-hmm. And somebody didn't give up on you. And so at the end of the day, I'm not saying every person that we try to go to is going to change, because that's not a fact. But it is our responsibility to create that space and that opportunity for them to change. And what they do with that is up to them.
And just talking to you, your life kind of parallels one of the main characters in The Chi, Treg. Luke James, that plays Treg, Victor, that's running for
yeah, ironically.
Councilman, yeah. Right? So it makes it even more relatable. Before we close out, I wanna ask you, what do you, Brandon J. Smith, what do you need from us as far as the community to help you get on that ticket, to get on that ballot? If you can look at the camera and let them know, what do you need?
I need the people to believe in themselves. It ain't about me. I'm a man. I'm one person. But, like we said in the beginning of the show, we talk about change. We talk about, wanting things to be different. But when it's time to put up, we just shut up or we just back down. If we want to be free, if we want to see change, we got to become the change that we want to see. I need support. And I need support in that. I'm not even talking about money. I'm just talking about people to really take a look at what's going on and say, hey, just because it hasn't been this way, just because it's never happened before, because I've been told that what you're doing, bro, it's not impossible, but nobody's ever done it. It's virtually impossible. But just because it's virtually impossible doesn't mean it can't be done. Just because it's never been done doesn't mean it shouldn't be done. And so what I tell people is believe in yourself enough to believe in me. Empower me to empower us. I created a fundraising or a nonprofit called Race to a Million. I'm trying to raise $1 million. 75% of that $1 million that we raise, I'm giving back to the people. So it's an investment in yourself because I'm not rich. If I had $1 million, I'd invest in myself, but I'm not rich. And so I figure if you give $1, or you give $1, or you give 50 cents, or you give $10, whatever you got 10 cents. If we put all our money in the pot together, then we can make a move. It'll be a fist. We can create something. We can open up some businesses. We can do some things because I believe in self-sustainability. And I believe that if I could take and raise that money, I can invest that money back into us. We can open up. I can buy some McDonald's, and all the money that go to the McDonald's, with the exception of the money that's paid to the workers, can go back to the community. So if the city hall say, "Hey, we ain't got no money for the schools," cool. McDonald's, the community McDonald's that we bought as a people, got money for the schools. You know, I can say, "Oh, we ain't got no housing, or it's nowhere for us to go," where the community shelters and all the houses is messed up from the money that we raised from Race to a Million. We can put back into housing and back into creating opportunities for people. So what I say, what you can do is just tap into my link, tap into my Race to a Million, and donate. If you want to see change, donate. You know, you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, donate, because you're not donating to me. You're donating to yourself. You know, if you want to start a business, like I said, I want to recreate the way we help people. Nonprofit, most people give 51%. You're required to give 51%. I'm giving 75%. The other 25% is for administrative costs, for people who donate their time and stuff who not getting paid. The other 75% goes to organizations to enhance them, to make them better. Y'all fighting for grants and different things when I'm saying, hey, we can remove the middleman. For all my people in the street that understand what that means, we can cut the middleman out. And so through Race to a Million represents freedom. All it takes is one person to affect change. All it takes is one. And so all I'm asking is for you guys to come out on November 20th, for you guys to come out on November 5th, and let's change the narrative. Let's take control of our destinies, of our education, of our kids, of our neighborhoods, because ain't nobody coming to save us. Insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Everybody who's running gonna tell you the same thing. If you vote for me, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Look, I'm not telling y'all that. If you vote for me, you write me in and I become mayor, I'm coming to talk to y'all, and we're gonna build a city of Richmond, and keyword we gonna build it together, because I can't do it by myself. So if you really believe in change, you really want to see things change, and let's come together and make those changes.
Yeah, y'all heard that. Two more things, and I always ask my guests, if you could leave the people with some positive words of wisdom, what would you say?
Greatness is never defined by any one man or woman's path, but more so by the many lives that will forever change along the way.
I want to bring you back for another episode because I want to check on your progress, right? And I want to do my part in helping you in any way that I can, because I truly believe that you are sincere about this. Like, this is, I can see it all on you. And I want to do my part in helping you get that position. So we going to speak that into existence.
Amen.
Right?
I receive that in Jesus' name.
So tell the people where they can find you. Let them know about your website, how they can donate.
Brandon J. Smith for mayor. That's Brandon J. Smith, the number 4.com. That's my website. You go to my website, you can donate. If you're an Instagram person, Brandon J. Smith _ 2 times. You hit the link tree and it'll take you to a spot where you can go, take you straight to my GoFundMe where you can donate. That's it. That's it's simple. It's easy. I didn't make it hard. Brandon J. Smith for mayor.com. That's my, remember the J, Brandon J. Smith for the number 4 mayor.com. That's my website. And you're gonna have the candidate side and you're gonna have the Race to a Million side. And you press donate and it's gonna take you straight to my GoFundMe. Or you can go to my Instagram, which is Brandon J. Smith __. And I'm in there, I got a suit on, I'm looking at my watch. And you hit the link tree and it'll take you to the different things. And if you aren't registered to vote or you haven't been registered, I also put the election link in there so you can click it. It'll take you to the Virginia elections and you can put your information in to see if you're registered. And if you're not, you can also register on there so that you can vote.
I appreciate you. I thank you for being here. Like I said, I want to bring you back to check on the progress, even if it's two, three more times. Because I want to help get the word out there and do my part in getting you the support that you need. So as we close out this show, we're shooting Brutally Opinionated Podcast. Again, your host, Shaniqua Nate. And we have, I'm going to go ahead and speak it in existence, our up and coming Mayor, Brandon J. Smith for the city of Richmond. And we're shooting here live at the Culture Mix Studios. And we'll catch y'all on another episode.